I've spent over a week with this Sony flagship, and well, my take on this one is a little mixed. So this time around, what Sony gotten right? What areas I feel they still have room for improvement? Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and welcome to my review of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark III. So first, I'm gonna start with what I liked about this phone. First, the in-hand feel. The 21:9 aspect ratio means despite sporting a 6.4-inch display, the Xperia 1 Mark III feels pretty narrow in hand. So it's easy enough to grip. The IP6568 rating is a positive, and so are the materials used. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna be saying about the build right now, because there is a lot of room for improvement with this one. We will talk about that in a bit. Now that said, there are a couple of choices Sony made that I also happen to really appreciate. For starters, the toolless tray design. This is something I really loved. Think about it, say you're testing some emulators and want to pop in an SD card quick, boom, no hunting for the SIM tool. Next, this one's killer, and before I talk about the feature itself, let me explain what I classify as a killer feature. To me personally, a killer feature is one that I miss once I've moved on to the next phone. For example, commonly I miss the S Pen every time I move away from a Note. So for me, that's a killer feature. And I'm happy to say that I have a similar experience with the Xperia here. This physical two-stage shutter key, I really think more brands should incorporate it into their designs. It's just so elegant to pick up, shoot. And as you can see, I just ended up shooting so much of my cat just because I love the actual shooting experience here. Of course, all that would be for nothing if the hardware did not really back it up. But Sony's done well on that front too. The primary is a 12 megapixel f1.7. It's stabilized, and like the other two sensors, this one also has support for dual phase detection autofocus. So it's pretty quick on the focus front, and the images, they turned out beautiful. Sony gives you a lot of camera features that they've taken straight out of their alpha lineup. So if you do like tinkering with settings, this is gonna be the best you're gonna get on a smartphone. But, yeah, of course, there is a but. Now the night mode here is not all that good. It auto triggers, but compared to other brands, Sony's not really done well. And that's a major letdown, especially on a phone priced at this point. I really wish they can pay more attention to the night mode. Now, before we move on to the secondary sensor, I'd like to remind you guys of one very important thing. This video is brought to you by 28mobile.com. If there's any phone that you want to buy that's not available in your market, 28mobile is the best place to buy them from. They're reliable, they have amazingly good service, they ship quick. So go on, check out 28mobile.com if you haven't yet. I will leave a link in the description below. And now let's get back to the phone. Second sensor, that's again 12 megapixels. It's got an ultra-wide f2.2 lens, 124-degree field of view. It performs quite beautifully too. Crisp ultra-wide shots, nice colors. The third camera is something totally unique to this phone. This has a lens that can switch focal lengths. So you can either zoom in and shoot 2.9x, that's 70 millimeters, or zoom in even further and shoot 105 millimeters, which is roughly 4.4x. This is one of the things that the Xperia 1 manages to do so much better than the competition. Just look at the detail here. By the way, this lens also happens to be stabilized. The last one is a 0.3 megapixel time of flight sensor for depth. Nothing to write home about. Now with video, we are capped to 4K 60, and while the footage quality is good, as you can see, this is a surefire way to get the Xperia 1 Mark III to heat up real quick. And that heating, we will get to that. Before that, let's get a few more positives out of the way. Positive number, whatever it is. Next, battery life. The Xperia 1 Mark III happens to be a little thicker than its predecessor. Why? Because the battery capacity is a little higher now. It's 500 mAh, more at 4500 milliampere. Now the actual battery life is not bad. It's managed to get me through a day on a single charge, even with me testing cameras and gaming. But do note that the battery life makes it onto the pro side of this video by the slimmest of margins. So don't expect it to be great. I would call it slightly above average. The next one though is a clear pro, the charger, because unlike the competition, Sony does include chargers in the box. Well, it's not a crazy fast 120 watt charger or anything, it's just 30 watts, but it does help for quick top up 0 to 50 in 30 minutes. There's also support for wireless charging at up to 15 watts. Next on the pros list is the display. This is a notchless 4K 120Hz panel. The first phone needs to be on for me to actually. Anyway, this is a notchless 4K 120Hz panel, the first of its kind on a smartphone. Now remember, unless you're watching 4K content, the Xperia 1 Mark III runs at Full HD+. So when you're seeing something like this or this, a phone with a Quad HD Plus display should technically be sharper. And I say technically, not because I like to talk about tech. Let's not go there. I say technically because you most probably aren't gonna notice the difference here unless you're comparing them side by side. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who own an Xperia 1 or Xperia 1 Mark II, Mark III, whatever, who show the phone to other people saying, hey, it's got a 4K display and it's super sharp and all that, and people just look at it, not even realizing 4K only kicks in when you're watching video, and they probably go, yeah man, it is so sharp, I would say. Now, the con here is that it isn't a very bright panel. It's serviceable, but outdoors on a phone that's priced more than the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the Galaxy S21 Ultra, I would definitely expect better. Also note that the 120Hz refresh, that's the first feature to get disabled when the phone overheats, which, okay, let's get to that. I promise we'll get to that right away. But let's just talk software before we do. Software is again a mixed bag. This is Android 11. Sony leaves things pretty stock. So everything is extremely responsive. Even when the phone heats up and say 120Hz gets disabled, the phone experience itself, you don't really notice a lot of adverse reactions there. It doesn't stutter, the experience remains fine. Sony regulars like side sense return and add to that user experience. There's the always on functionality. Even the Xperia Pro's display in functionality is present here, letting you use this phone as a field monitor for your camera. Then we have a game mode when you play games. Okay, that is one of the areas where the trouble starts. Now, gameplay is usually smooth. The stereo speakers provide good separation, they're loud enough, the display is, well, amazing, but the phone does heat up. Games don't stutter, but the Xperia 1 Mark III does get uncomfortably hot to hold. And that's when you start losing features like 120Hz. And I feel this is very disappointing because this is a phone that costs more than top tier flagships from market leaders. This should not happen. Now, talking about market leaders, Apple and Samsung, Apple usually provides updates to its phones for about 4 years or more. Samsung's now promised 2 major Android version updates and 4 years of security patches. Sony, they also do promise 2 major Android version updates, but security patches are only for half the time as Samsung. It's 2 years of security patches. So apart from the software having issues today, it's also not going to get supported for as long as Apple or even Samsung for that matter. Now, the penultimate negative on this list is the 8 megapixel selfie camera. There is nothing quite wrong with it or anything, but it is very forgettable. I mean, it does not make an impression. Like when I was scripting for this video, I had to go back and see the samples to remember how these actually performed. I didn't have a solid feeling about it, which I usually do. I at least have a rough idea when I'm writing a script. Now, finally, you know how we started with the build? Let's end on the same note. Here's a small snippet from my unboxing. My first thought on picking up this phone was, damn, not again. Sony, if by chance, if the stars align and by some chance you're watching this video, here's a fact, you don't have the market share. Your phones are not popular. Don't get me wrong, they are amazing, but not popular. And that means finding accessories for it is a pain. So please, pretty please, just include a soft case in the box. Eventually. You see these scratches here? It was quite unavoidable. Now before someone jumps in and says, but Ash, that's only because it's Gorilla Glass 6. Gorilla Glass Victus would do so much better. Nope. I've got a scratch to the front as well. Gorilla Glass Victus. I mean, it's not like I dropped it from 3.5 feet and it broke and I'm cribbing about that or anything because the brand didn't send me the phone. I bought the phone, or rather, I work with 28 Mobile on this. So the lack of access to, well, accessories and the smooth glass back, I'm just saying they're not a good combination. You know how I said that was going to be the last negative? Well, I lied. Because it just had a nice ring to it. You know, we start with the build, end with the build. The video goes full circle. I mean, we are still to address the elephant in the room. The price. The Xperia 1 Mark III is priced at $1,300 USD, which is more than, as I've been saying throughout this video, Apple and Samsung's flagships. And unless you want those pro camera features, it has to offer I can't really recommend this to most people, despite me having a pretty good time with this phone. So, hey, if you like the cameras, you want to pick one up, you know where to go, 28mobile.com. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my review of the Xperia 1 Mark III. It's got a lot of potential, but there are some very notable issues that seem to hold it back. Hopefully, we see Sony improve with a Mark IV. Maybe that's the fourth time's the charm. I don't know. So anyway, guys, what do you feel about this phone? What do you feel about Sony as a smartphone maker at this moment? Let me know in the comments below. Also, thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt. Subscribe, turn on notifications if you haven't yet. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.